The not-so-virtual reality of online gaming.
Video games have been around a long time. The video games in this documentary, however, are not your Atari or Sega type of games, where it's only single player or two player and you have to be in the same room. We are going to be talking about online multiple player games. Online and multiple player games started prior to the development of internet in 1983. Online games actually started in the 1970s with packet-based computer networking. And even though most of us do have different types of video games in our households now, at the beginning of online gaming, the only types of online games were to be found on scientists' computers when they were researching different forms of networking and communicating between computers. The world of online gaming has come a long way to become the culture and influence it is today. Once online gaming became known to the public, it was primarily text-based games that were also RPGs, or role-playing games. Unlike the fancy graphics we have today and the point-and-click adventures, if you wanted to play an online game when they were first coming out, you would have to type each of your commands and hope it was recognized. A lot of these early games were centered around entering your text commands, chat rooms, and role-playing with other gamers from other places. This was the beginning of social gaming and really created a platform for people to find ways to be social with one another without having to go somewhere other than their own homes. Video games took on a more graphical appearance in the mid to late 80s with the development of technology and advancements in visual effects. Some of the first to the scene were games like Air Warrior, which was a multiplayer air combat simulator. This allowed you to play with people online from other places and also piqued the interest of consumers enough to see the potential in gaming industry to further progress the ability to allow gamers to play together from wherever they were. In the 1990s, when internet started to become more rapidly available to individuals in their homes, the full expansion of online games really began. Some titles, such as Ultima Online, or UO, and StarCraft, really took off. The different genre of games started to expand as well. Instead of primarily RPGs being the thing you saw the most, you began to see RTSs, which are real-time strategy games, and also first-person shooters, as well as MOBAs, or multiplayer online battle arena games. Once internet became stronger and connection speeds further progressed, you also began to see a lot of MMOs, or mass multiplayer online games, where there were hundreds of people from all over playing together in the same game. Some of these examples would be like RuneScape. You also began to see gaming consoles such as PlayStation and Xbox start including the online technology, so there was another platform for people to play online with one another from all over. The entire world of gaming became accessible to multiplayer. It didn't matter if you were an only child, or if your friends were away, or if no one was in your home to play games with you, you were able to log on to your computer or console and play games and make friends with people from anywhere. Naturally, just like it would be in any industry, those that were producing games wanted to make sure to continue to grow and be competitive. With this, you began to see improvements in gameplay, accessibility, as well as huge leaps and bounds in graphics and storylines. Each powerhouse of the video game industry wanted to solidify their name in the industry with games that were sure to wow and surpass the current standards. It has progressed so much now so that we are potentially looking at an actual virtual reality. Along with all of these amazing advances in video games and technology, there was also the development of a new culture. Video game culture, and those of which that share in it, have grown with each of these advancements and have seen and experienced the different levels of thrill and joy, as well as disappointment and frustration. For some, video games have also become a way of life, a standard by which they base their success and failures, and also a source of revenue for those who possess enough skill and ability. Video games have made such an impact on today's world, there are even studies documenting certain gaming lifestyles to be an actual disorder or addiction.
The World Health Organization has classified or defined the disorder is excessive use of video games, and that means any kind of video game. So video game is a blanket term for all sorts of online or
I think you guys know that. So, according to the World Health Organization, gaming disorder is now an official medical...
Gaming disorder as a mental health condition.
Yes, the World Health Organization claiming video games are addictive, on the same page as alcohol and gambling.
Another change is the new diagnosis, gaming disorder. It comes under the umbrella of addictive disorders, and it's defined as impaired control over digital or video gaming for at least a year, leading to adverse effects on personal health and overall...
There have even been situations where certain people have taken their games so seriously that it may have led to death or serious injury due to neglecting one's own needs, or they have been upset emotionally or dissatisfied with their situation, so much so that they may cause self-harm.
I get focused on them way too much, and sometimes I forget to do my daily responsibilities.
I can sit there and play a game, the Dark Souls for, 6 hours, spend, 30 tries trying to kill a boss, and I feel more satisfied doing that than I do making money at my job or going out and sitting in the forest or something. It's just usually one of my, daily activities.
Put me into a corner where, that was all I was doing. It kind of cut me off from the actual real-life stuff, and it was...
Video games have been stated to be the #1 source of cyberbullying and have some of the most toxic environments. On the other hand, it has been a beloved pastime for many as well. Most continue to play because they find it to be a relief from the grind and monotony of modern everyday life. Many people who have developed a love for gaming have been gaming for many years and will continue to game throughout their life in one form or another, regardless of any negativity surrounding their video games. Most find that it is much more worth it to continue to connect and play.
How long have you been playing video games for?
I've been playing video games for probably 18 years, maybe a little less, maybe 17, 16 years.
Probably about 20 years.
Fuck. Whoa, what? Close to 30 years.
Since age 5, maybe. Yeah, my brother got me a Game Boy. I still have it, actually, when I was 5.
There are a lot of different aspects to gaming. One of those aspects is actually the cost. Even free-to-play games usually have the option of spending money on them, either it be for flair or virtual gratification, and in certain cases, perks and advantages to the game. Not to mention the equipment used to play the game, such as computers or consoles, TVs, monitors, plus the cost of different games themselves. Most of the individuals who play video games do not see this as an expense, though. They compare it to that of going to a movie or any other hobby that someone else may have. However, in long term, most gamers will spend thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on their hobby.
How much would you say you've spent on gaming? This includes equipment, consoles, games themselves, downloadable content, etc.
Probably a couple 100,000, maybe. I don't know, maybe a little more.
Probably like 9 grand, maybe. I'm not totally sure.
I'd say maybe 10, 15 grand.
Let's see. I'd say probably like between $15,000 and $20,000 total.
Those who are very dedicated to their games, gaming communities, or gaming culture find it to be their life away from the monotony of the real world. They can also develop real emotional connections to the games they play and those they play them with. It's where they get their gratification and sense of fulfillment. Many friends can be made via online gaming as well. Some have stated there is a difference between online friends and real-life friends. However, it has become fairly standard that those who have met online have become real-life friends or even more.
I don't really differentiate them because, like, I hate this whole notion that online is, not real somehow. Like this whole, oh, your real-life friends. It's like, no, like, online is still just as real. I still have just as important a connection to those people.
I have online friends that I've known for between 2 to 3 years at times, maybe more, that check up on me every day and talk to me. And a lot of my personal friends, I don't really hear from them very much, if at all.
Most of my friends through my life have been online friends. They have changed to real life and real life friends, but most of my friends right now are online friends, and I talk to them way more than I talk to most of the people I know in real life. So
ultimately, video games have developed and changed not only in the technology and graphics they use, but also the lives of a great abundance of people who have played them, for both good and bad. It is an addiction and a release, a sense of frustration and of fulfillment. It can be one's only social outlet and a very time-consuming hobby, and yet they continue to be seen as a huge aspect of joy for most who choose to play them.
Because it's allowed me to access peoples and cultures I would never ordinarily have met inside my normal sphere because, I'm not exactly well-traveled.
Depending on the game you play, they help your reaction speed, and they help with brain activity to keep you thinking and stuff like that. It helped me be more social in a sense.
I would say it's good and it's bad. I've had a lot of video game experiences that just simply would never happen in real life, so it gives it more of a personal connection to me.
I feel pretty good when I'm playing my video games. I get to escape real life for a bit, and enjoy the online interactions with my online friends, and just get to enjoy myself a little more than I usually do in my real life.
Yeah, even if video games are air quotes just a game, they can give you a sense of achievement you sometimes don't get from your actual life.
A lot of that stuff, it kind of resonates within me personally, and I don't feel that just living my day-to-day life, going to work every day, I'm getting my daughter every other weekend. I don't know, life just seems very bland without that distraction, There are people on there, man, that I just never knew in person, that I'd never met, but it's just, they really kept me out of a lot of really bad situations mentally.
So whether you enjoy them and partake in them yourselves, or you don't like them and find that they are a huge distraction in many people's lives, they are still, regardless, a permanent part of our modern day culture. I would say that the biggest thing to remember is to play wisely and don't let reality escape that of your virtual world. It's always about finding balance. So knowing your limits and knowing your responsibilities on top of what brings you joy is going to be what allows you to get the most fulfillment and be able to determine a hobby from that of your real life.